Once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Horror News Radio, the official Gruesome Magazine podcast. Back with me again this week are the scariest, goriest, bloodiest co-host on the net. And tonight we are reviewing Mortal Kombat. Right? That did nothing for anybody, but that's okay. All right, joining us tonight is award-winning filmmaker Christopher G. Moore. How you doing, sir?
Christopher wins. I'm doing great.
That's great. All right. Also joining us, podcasting rock star and international cosplay queen, Vanessa. How you doing?
Excellent. Fatality.
You're doing flawless.
Flawless victory.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we are going to be covering Mortal Kombat. What we're going to be doing is giving our first impressions, and then we're going to talk about the film a little bit. We're going into full spoilers when we do that, so you can watch the first impression spoiler free, but know that we're going into the full spoilers when we get into the discussion. And then we're going to wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. So let's take a look at the card, shall we? Mortal Kombat. Get over here. Available in theaters and HBOMAX April 23rd. 2021. Synopsis: MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. Directed by Simon McQuoid. The writers are Greg Russo and Dave Callahan. The cast includes, but not limited to, Louis Tan, Jessica McNamee, Josh Lawson, Joe Taslim, Maked Brooks, I probably mispronounced that. Apologies. Tenhubu Asano, Hiroyuki Sanada, Chinhan, Ludi Lin, and Max Huang. I mispronounced that too. I'm pretty sure of it. But anyway, it is here. Mortal Kombat, the R-rated version of the game. Can they do this game justice? We've had two previous movies, at least that I know of. There's the first one, and then there was like a sequel to it somewhere out there. I'm not familiar with any of them. I'm not a really big gamer. I mean, I know enough about the characters as far as pop culture goes, so I know who Sub-Zero and Scorpion and all those are. But a lot of this lore is totally new to me. But I was looking forward to all the battles and the gore. Be interested to find out if it delivered on that promise. But let's do this. Let's give our first impressions. Vanessa, I would like for you to go first.
Me. I had a lot of fun. I wasn't disappointed at all in the product that was presented to us. I mean, how much can we expect from a movie that's based off a game that's just about fighting and ripping people's heads off and like just being as gory and grotesque as possible? And they did achieve that in this movie. I will give them that. There was a lot of gore, and they earned their R rating, and that was a lot of fun to see. Overall, I had a good time. I'd watch it again, and I can't. We were discussing previously how there's been a lot of mixed reviews and a lot of hate and stuff for it, but to me that just seems silly. Like this movie doesn't carry enough weight to be upset about anything. And I don't know. I like the cheesy kind of campiness of it. It reminded me a lot of the one from the 90s. It just neither one seems to take itself too seriously, and I like that about it.
Excellent. Yeah. Stupid but fun, right? All right. Yeah. Christopher G. Moore, your first impression of Mortal Kombat.
I enjoyed it. I think anybody who's trying to compare it to the ones from the 90s might not have watched the ones from the 90s as well. Because I think one of the friends of the show had posted this long diatribe about how the original had all this story and stuff. Really? Before this podcast, I watched a little bit of the original 90s one, and there's not story. They just these characters pop up. Johnny Cage sucks, and they all go on this boat to do the tournament, and the lizard guy is like, was horrible CGI, like it almost looked like something walked out of Pixar. And I enjoyed the original Mortal Kombats. believe me, I enjoyed it. The music, I mean, that Mortal Kombat, we love that. But if you've played the game, I think the story is the least thing that most people know about the games. You just know they show up in all these weird places and fight each other, and someone rips their spine out. This delivered. We finally get like an R-rated, a full R-rated. You know, this is, to me, Mortal Kombat is like what Friday 13th is for slashers. It's just all about the different ways they dispatch people, you know? Except maybe for a few friendship type things or something where they play around with it. You know, and I don't know, I didn't really expect a lot from this. Yeah, the stories, it's a little bit scattered story-wise, but I'm just there for people to find different ways they dispatch people in fatalities. That's all I'm there for. And so when it got to that, that's when I was, and then they would spout little quotes from the game, spout quotes from the game and stuff. So yeah, so I enjoyed it. I mean, it's got its flaws, but I didn't really expect a lot. So so I enjoyed it. I laughed out loud and clapped a few places. It is what.
Oh, there you are. You here? Are you back? Are you back? Yes, you are. All right. For me, I didn't know what to expect about this really, but I didn't know if this was even going to be a film for me. But I will admit that I had a wonderful time with this. It is silly, stupid, it's outrageous. It doesn't make a lick of sense, but it was so much fun. Now, are there flaws? Christopher was saying it's flawed, and there are some huge flaws. The main character, this Cole Young character, is like a blank of wood. Not very appealing character. The sub characters are great though, from Jax to Kano, Sub-Zero, Scorpion. I mean, those guys were great, especially Kano. Kano was my favorite, even though he was but I just loved his whole attitude and everything. And then it isn't about the tournament. It's about leading up to the tournament, and they're trying to, the bad guys are trying to cheat their way to win the 10th tournament so they can rule the earth. Yeah, whatever. It just excuse for them to fight in the streets and anywhere they wanted, and we get some pretty badass characters on both sides, and some of the goriest kills. I mean, there are some, like a couple of them that I went, oh shit. I mean, one of them has to involve a spinning hat. The other one has to involve a guy with a hammer. We'll talk about all that soon. But it was, so it's a lot of fun. It leads up, it ends really well, and you get a little hint of what, a second entry into this series could be, which honestly I'm looking forward to. I hope they do, because I think they've set it up to bring that particular character in and to make it really rock, because they have all the pieces in play. So in the end, despite its flaws, despite its it's a little uneven. I did watch it twice. Until the third act, it is kind of a wobbly mess, but when it hits, when it fires, it really works and delivered. And at the end, I was just like, man, that was great. If I were back to being a 16-year-old kid, I would love this movie. This would be the best movie ever made. It's a good time. It's a good time. I don't know what people are getting, all upset about. I mean, I get it, because they don't actually go to the tournament, and you get this weird character, and then the one character most people are wanting to see doesn't show up. Or so I hear. I have, like I said.
Well, Katana is the one I was looking for to see.
Oh, is it? Well, Cage is the one everybody was looking for, right?
Well, Johnny Cage, they set it up without getting away. They kind of set it up.
Yeah, we're in spoiler territory now.
Yeah,
right?
We're in spoiler territory.
Yeah, they had to do that or to guarantee a second one, right? Because this one's good, but did it warrant a second one? But now we didn't see Katana. You didn't see Johnny Cage. Like, clearly they're gonna have the foothold to make another.
Yes. But I what is it? What is the guy's name? I'm looking over here at my cheat sheet here at the name because I don't know the characters. Goro, right? That actually rocked. And then the lizard guy, whoever that was, the lizard creature. I don't know, but in the end, it was all about Kano. Kano, when he showed up, just breathed so much life into the movie. And then some of the other characters that came in after him did as well.
What an asshole!
What a perfect! I mean,
what a perfect. Yeah, I'm not going to say that for people to record.
No sound bites here, folks. No sound bites here. Oh man! But I like that they were trying to find out their chi and get their powers and Kano was trying to figure out what he would get because I didn't know who had what powers. I don't know if that's from the eye blast thing is from the game.
Yeah, but he usually has like a metal thing.
Does he?
With the eye, which I'm sure it'll probably might show up in the next one. I would assume the way it's set up, but if he doesn't totally die.
Yeah, I expect that these characters are not gone for good on both sides.
Well, no, when somebody can go to hell and come back, I mean.
Yeah,
it pretty much opens the door for that.
All right. Speaking of that, the first 7, 8, 10 minutes of this movie, the intro with I guess it's Scorpion when he's just the Hanzo character, is really good.
Which is more setup than the original Mortal Kombat film. So for those people who say there's not much story, at least you get more background than just the main guy waking up because he dreamed his brother died and he's like, I'm gonna go to Mortal Kombat. That's all we have. So all these people saying there's no story, you are not watching the same movie that we are.
Yeah,
and I don't
that was really
that.
Beautiful too, and it was well acted.
Yeah.
So who knows? They're just people have to complain about stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Hiroyuki's a great actor too. I mean, he was in the original Ringu, and he was in the Wolverine film.
Oh, you're right. I knew he looked familiar, but I couldn't remember. Well, I didn't look it up.
Well, there's a lot of people in here. Chris might be. I don't know if you recognize the guy who played Rico. The guy with the hammer is the guy from Mad Max Fury Road, the big bald guy.
I thought I recognized him from somewhere, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah. Or your metal hands.
Or yeah.
And then the voice of Cabal, this funny masked wolf-like guy. I don't even know what he is, but he was a comedian. It seemed like is a guy named Damon Harriman, who he's the actor that plays Charles Manson a lot in shows. He did it on the TV show. He did it in the Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh, he did it on Mindhunters.
Yeah. So,
I was wondering. I'd heard the voice before, but that's interesting.
I didn't know it was him.
I didn't know it was either.
I was like, is that somebody famous? Because it was just so out of place. It was so funny and comical and.
Although, I tell you, I don't know. I don't think they'll do this, but the Johnny Cage character. You know who he's originally based on, right?
No.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, shit.
And he turned down the movie.
Did he?
So they got this bland guy to play him in Mortal Kombat, the original. Can you imagine if they got him
to play it now?
Or maybe if they got Nicolas Cage to play Johnny Cage.
Oh my God.
It's not going to happen, but I would love to see
casting.
That. All right. Well, I think most of the movie belongs to Sub-Zero as the bad guy. At least as far as, when the action ramps up, right? What do we think of Sub-Zero?
I thought he was great. I loved the way that he used his powers, and these are what can you say? They're flat characters that are just there to do cool shit and have cool sayings. So, to give them any depth whatsoever is cool, I guess. I mean, it was great to see his kills, but I really liked the way they developed the story between him and Scorpion and how this was like an age-long fight between their families, and then when he finally comes into the picture, like that's the that epic fight that we saw teased in the trailers really stood up to what we were hoping it would be.
Yeah,
Which again is more story than in the original, which is two white guys in blue and yellowish things. Actually, the Scorpion story is a little bit based on they did a movie that you can see on HBOMAX about Scorpion that ties into this story a little bit.
Oh, wow.
All right. Yeah, Joe Tasman, I thought he did a great job. He was in the Raid Redemption, Christopher. And he also is in a movie. He was in Fast and Furious 6, although I didn't know that. But he,
wow.
The Night Comes for Us. He's really good in that. Really
I remember we did that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's some really great moments. I mean, that whole thing between them was great. But yeah, I think the only person that I didn't like is the guy that played Raiden. Not that we have to have Christopher Lambert back. But yeah. But the last thing you want is like the whitest dude on the planet wearing like an Asian hat. That doesn't work so well now. Although I used to like him as Raiden back in the day. But the new guy, his English is so like, his accent is so heavy. I had a hard time understanding half the stuff he was saying, and he wasn't really much personality. I feel like Christopher Lambert put a little bit more personality into that character than he did. But I think that was the only character that I kind of didn't like. I didn't think he built up, especially if he's supposed to be this big guy against the other guy. He felt a little bit less, I think, in my opinion. Raiden is like one of the most popular characters in the Mortal Kombat game. So to me, you can't, that was something I had an issue with.
Yeah,
like he held back or something.
Yeah, he was doing the Obi-Wan Kenobi kind of thing going on. But it's the Tadanobu Asano is Hogan. I know I'm mispronouncing his name, but he's Hogan in the Thor series. I don't know if you guys knew that.
He plays who?
Hogan, one of the three.
The Warriors 3?
Warriors 3, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. He's the one that has the epic battle with the Empress at the in Ragnarok.
God, I don't know.
Oh, I completely forgot. I need to go back and watch that.
Oh my God, you guys!
That one's my favorite.
Or she's not the Empress. What is it? It's Hela.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I don't know why. Okay. So I think what the point is, I keep going to the actors. I think the cast is great. Except one exception. I still think I like the guy who played Rico. But I don't know. What is it about Cole Young that didn't work for me? Am I alone in that? Did you guys like Cole Young? Vanessa, did you like the lead?
I like the actor that they chose. I just feel like they definitely could have done more with him. Oh. Silent.
I put on the mute. So you didn't hear that.
It's okay. He just seemed he seemed kind of weak. And I guess they're trying to represent that he's kind of broken and at the end of like his rope, so to speak, no confidence, needs to build that back up in himself. But I think it just lent to someone you just wanted to like smack around and be like, let's come on, get with the picture, get with the program here.
Yeah, he was a little wimpy.
Well, juxtaposed against like Sonya, who doesn't have a mark, has to take out Kano, gets her mark, and then immediately gets her power, right? Mm-hmm. Because she's focused and she this is what she wanted to do. She wanted to have this role. She wanted to defend the world, the country, as a good soldier. And he didn't have that same kind of, immediate driving force. I guess they're trying to show he's a wayward soul, right? He didn't have a focus or a purpose in life.
Yeah, well,
but it led to it being kind of flat.
Yeah, but like his ancestor, it came down to family. Protecting the family was what was going to give him his power. So it made sense thematically and story wise, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't quite grab me the way I wanted to.
Yeah, and like Kano, all you got to do is make him angry, and he'll get his power. And I'm like, really?
Oh,
yeah.
He gets his butt kicked, and it's still cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was kind of I wasn't sure what to think about the main guy because originally I thought maybe he was I thought he was pulling his punches when he had that early fight. I thought maybe he wasn't like showing his full potential on purpose, or if he was allowing himself to get beat up. I mean, I wasn't really sure.
I wasn't either.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, so the only way he can get powers is if you threaten his family. You know? I know. I feel like it needs to be a little bit more so than that. You know, and even the Sonya Blade character, even though she's one of the toughest people in this thing, even though she doesn't have powers yet, I feel like she was still like thrown to the side to where the whole time she wants to be part of this whole thing, and everybody keeps putting her down, almost like we got to treat the female character as she's not good enough to be part of Mortal Kombat or something. But she's still able to kick ass and stuff. But still, the whole time you can see her frustration. She wants to be.
Yeah.
Like, I want to kill one of these people to get my power. And then she's got to mother the rest of them in the film.
Yeah, she kind of does. I guess she kind of does. What do you think about Jax? I was like, oh, he's just throwaway character at the beginning, right? Because he looks like he dies, but no, he comes back with the metal arms, and those are his power. You know, they start out kind of these wimpy little things and then become badass. Vanessa, what'd you think?
Oh, I thought it was great. I loved it. When he got his full on big bulky metal arms, I was like, oh yeah, it's a fight now.
I still don't think they gave him enough though, except for he did get his punch at the end there with the...
I don't know, he seemed pretty strong to me.
All right, well, let's talk about all the fights, because at the end, you know, our heroes, you know, band together and you know, divide and conquer, right, and go after the bad guys, and I thought that's where the movie really picked up. I mean, we do get this great kill before that with the spinning hat and the Batgirl creature thing. That was fantastic. And then, of course, Kano gets the heart thing and goes, Kano wins, right? But anyway, what do we think about the battles at the end? Christopher, did they live up to the battles you had in 95?
Well, first of all, you get R-rated battles, so you get the full gore, which Mortal Kombat has always been about. I mean, that's the reason people were like, you know, back in the 90s, they were like, oh, you need to, that's when they started putting the little, you know, this is M for mature, you know. So yeah, just to see that part of it. And I was like, every time they did a fatality, I was laughing or clapping.
Yes.
Because I think when the Jax, when he does his little, you know, and he's like, oh, these motherfuckers work or something like that. And I was laughing. So every time somebody would do that, they'd either like, you know, first of all, they do one of their main kills, and a lot of them you see that. You see soul sucking, you see like the little fire dragon, you see all those specific fatalities you sort of have seen in the games. Although I will say, Luke, was it Kang Lao, his riding that winged woman onto a spinning hat is probably my favorite thing. I actually stood up and clapped when I watched it. I was like, damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that hat alone. Geez.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the whole Sonya rings thing. That was kind of weird, but she does. But in the game, Sonya does a thing where she blasts a hole in the middle of someone, and in the game she goes like this in the hole, and I was kind of sad we didn't see that. Although you did get to see the little spine, the person's spine in the middle of that hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they delivered on the you know, the fatalities. I mean, you get to see like the Kano with the heart, pulling the heart out, which he does. You get to see like spitting fire, which is a fatality that Scorpion does in the games. So yeah, I'm happy with all that. And you know, so I think to me it delivers a little bit better than the sort of the PG-13 where they had to sort of like hold back on a lot of the gore and stuff, you know. And then some of the stuff like the lizard guy was like, you know, really bad old school animation back in the day. So they did a pretty good job, because that whole thing when they're fighting that dragon and he's like the guy sticks like a knife with a flare in it. Some of that special effects are really cool in that. So yeah, I mean, once it got into action, again, that's why you play the games. You don't normally play Mortal Kombat games for the story. I'm sorry. You play other games for the story, like Halo or other things you might watch for the story elements. But then you just want to get there and see them fight in different weird environments. You know, you get that whole frozen octagon area. You get like, they almost have like a spiky area. And yeah. So yeah, I was like a kid in the candy store watching that stuff. I don't understand people's issues with it. I enjoyed it.
I did too. And I enjoyed the final battle between Scorpion and Sub-Zero. It felt like it had some weight and urgency. It was a little wacky about him, being freed from hell, but whatever. That was awesome. All right, we need to wrap this up, so let's give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Before we do, if you're still listening, thank you for hanging out with our reviews. We hope you're enjoying them. There's many more on the channel to watch. Let us know what you think. If you want to help us out, hit the subscribe button or share with a friend. That would do wonders. Let's quickly thank our patrons over at Patreon. Without their support, we wouldn't be able to do not only Horror News Radio, but Heroes and Joys, Decades of Horror, and Gruesome Magazine. Thank you all so much. So let's wrap this up. Vanessa, you are first.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I think it was fun. I'd watch it again. I think it's totally harmless. I love that it's R-rated, so we get all the blood and guts and gore. And I love the campy, tongue-in-cheek edge that it had with it, people delivering their own fatality lines or taglines, and then calling each other out on it. I thought it was great. I thought it was just a laugh the whole time, with some shocking kills, which is great. So overall, I think I give this one a 3.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, because I had fun, and I mean, like I said, I definitely watch it again. Favorite scene. So honestly, I think every kill was awesome. Like really, they nailed every fight, every kill. They were all super great. Kung Lao with the spinning hat, like that was brutal. That was really cutting that lady in half was brutal. I love the way that Goro got taken down. But honestly, I think my favorite little thing that they added in there was Liu Kang when he was fighting against Kano, and he keeps sweeping the leg. He kept sweeping his leg. And that is such a classic move that you would do when you would play that character in the game. That's what you would do to take people out. You'd play that character and you'd sweep and knock them out. And it was just so fun that they included that. To me, this was like a big time kind of fan service movie because they included all that fun stuff that you remember from the game and why you enjoyed playing the game. So I think they did a great job. Great reboot of the one from 95.
Excellent. All right, Christopher, you're up next. What is your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene?
Well, I'll make this quick, considering my connection seems to be very twitchy. This is a flaw-filled victory, in my opinion.
There you go.
It has its issues. It's not strong a lot of different things, but people who sort of raise up the original Mortal Kombat films to be like they're so great, they're really not that great. They're still fun movies, but they're not based on a story. It's mostly based on these iconic characters you remember from the video games and the fatalities. And this one, you get an R-rated, full-on gore, blood splurting everywhere, stuff being ripped out. So I enjoyed those moments, and those moments are the things that stand out. Those are moments I'd look for in this film. I've never really thought, oh, this needs to be the Citizen Kane of video game films. No, it's all about ripping people's skulls out and spines. So I will give it a 3.5.
Nice.
And I'm just gonna go with my favorite my favorite flawless victory when Kang Lao rides that weird siren. I can't remember her character in the game, but she rides that siren thing with the wings and then like rides her through his spinning hat, which I was like, which he sort of does. He does a similar thing in the game, except I think he rips the guy from the crotch to the head, and which I'm not sure if they'd really want to do.
Might not.
Unless you're in a really, one of that crazy clown
Terrifier.
Which he should not be named. But yeah, I think that's my favorite thing. Because I was like that weird, gleeful, morbid kid, like, yay, more of that.
Yeah.
You got more of that.
So that's my favorite scene.
Yeah. So I absolutely had a great time. This is a stupid fucking movie, but I love it. It is entertaining. It set out to entertain us, and it succeeded. It knows what it's doing. It actually, it reaches and tries to create a story where you feel for the character. Unfortunately, that part of it kind of falls flat, and so it has these slower moments at the beginning, but in the end, it all comes together. You get the characters you want to see. They get the lines you want to hear. You get the fights you want to, the special fights and the moves you want to see. It works, and I think what's really telling is it makes me want to see another one. And I didn't think that would happen, to be honest with you. It's really weird. I've been enjoying these, games to movie adaptations here lately. Sonic I thought was actually a blast. I liked Detective Pikachu in this movie. What the heck's going on? It's the world's coming to an end. So I'm actually giving it a 4. I really had a good time with this, and I think it's far better than some of those sneaky reviews you're getting out there. Is it stupid? Yeah. Is it entertaining? Hell yeah. It gave me what I wanted. I wanted to see those fights, and they were fun. The split scene is definitely it. So any of the fights, of course, any of the battles and the fatalities would work. But if it's not that, it's when Kano finds his power. And just I don't know why, but I really loved Kano. I thought he was so funny, so obnoxious, and so dense. And so, he was a badass, but he was kind of, how did you not die before now? How did you do all this? I mean, you did kill the lizard guy, but whatever, So when he figured out that he got the eye blast thing, it was, I don't know. I laughed my butt off. I thought he was hilarious. And the fact that he, like you were saying with this kick, and he figures out that he's going to kick again. So he jumps, but the guy doesn't do it. Come on. The guy's comedy gold. Got to bring him back. Need more Kano.
Well, he's always been a jerk. He's the same type of jerk, and even in the original Mortal Kombat film. So
yeah, I like it when they ask him if he's Russian. He gets all pissed off at him. All right, well, there you go. There's our review of Mortal Kombat. I hope you enjoyed it. Vanessa, Christopher, thank you for joining me.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, always fun.
All right, let's say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.